Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is July 29th, and today I thought I'd start off here with the Doppler radar, kind of the combination of the Doppler radar, a little bit lower resolution version of it, but you can see some of the shower activity moving up across Southern California here. The thunderstorm potential does include the San Diego metro. There's some lightning strikes moving up Baja towards the border here as well, so you can't rule out a lightning strike across some of the coastal areas, some of the higher terrain today as well, and that's going to be the case over the next few days. This is kind of the start of that monsoon surge that's coming up over the area here. So go ahead and check this out on the visible satellite imagery as well, and you can see some of that activity, this clockwise rotation line, some of that monsoon moisture to make its way up the coastline. Some of that marine layer still does exist up the California coastline, but even some areas up towards Northern California might be getting some of those rare sun breaks there along the immediate coastline. Here we're looking at this day in Southern Cal weather history. Check this out. I mean, look at the sea surface temperatures on this day back in 2006 here. Excellent swimming conditions, nice warm water off the coastline here. And look at this back in 1980. A small tornado, Oak Grove, tracked across open country, causing minimal damage, but interesting stuff there back in 1980. This is looking at chances of showers and thunderstorms this morning. As you can see, it does include the coastal regions there, as we saw in the satellite imagery and the Doppler radar there. Very slight chance it could reach the Los Angeles metro here, a little bit better chance to cross the higher terrain. And this is some below normal temperatures here coming up here. Look at Thursday and Friday's forecast as we go. And, you know, this is going to be interesting here. We're going to get a nice cool period, relatively speaking. And look at Death Valley dropping down into the 100 teens there. Thunderstorm chances increase this week, and again for Phoenix, check it out. The chances are going up as that monsoon moisture starts to return into the area. And watch out, any one of these storms can contain deadly lightning and possible localized flooding conditions there, some blowing dust. You guys know the drill. This is Phoenix's low temperature, 95 degrees. Look at the normal overnight low is 85 for this time of year here, just shattering records as we go through this extended heat wave for Phoenix. But we're going to get some relief here as we go towards the early portion of next week. And here you can see that by Monday, we're probably going to lose that 110 degree streak here somewhere towards 30 days. And yeah, then we're going to cool down, and then we're going to build another ridge here. So we're going to bring back some pretty hot temperatures here for at least a time. And then there is some signs of another trough trying to make its way down the west coast that would put a damper on that ridge here. So yeah, you know, precipitation chances will associate some of this monsoon moisture as it moves into the area. National Weather Service Sacramento, July 29th through 30th weekend weather today. Not too bad, just nice and seasonable, and a nice cool down coming here midweek as well. Death Valley 123, hottest place in the lower 48 yesterday, and you can see again Idaho just a little bit below freezing there. Here we go with precipitable water, and I'm going to update this. This run is the GFS run is going as we speak, and you can see some of that monsoon moisture across the region. That's why we're getting some of the showers down there across Southern California here, and you can kind of see that clockwise rotation. This is precipitable water, and this is percent of normal. You can see we are above average here across some of California up into Nevada here. And as we go through here, you can see that surge continue, and we continue to be above average, but watch as we go off into the extended a bit here. That surge moves out of the area. We start to build the ridge, and we're going to start to suppress some of this moisture here across California, Nevada, and Arizona here as we go on in through the next weekend here coming up. So yeah, we're going to put a lid on the monsoon moisture for the most part across some of the area here after this monsoon surge moves through. Now we've got some model disagreement here a little bit here. This is the GFS as of last night. So you can see this monsoon surge come here across the area, up across California, Nevada. And as we go on towards midweek here, we start to slowly build this ridge. By the weekend, it starts to get going here again. There are some signs that this is weakening a little bit in some of the model runs here, but this is still a very strong ridge here across the southwest USA. And you can see this, the higher these numbers here, the thicker the heat dome is, and the thicker the atmosphere is, more sinking air, more high pressure equals warmer temperatures. And then as we scroll on through the extended a little bit, now this is looking off in fantasy land, so I caution you, but there is kind of a trough showing up in some of the GFS and the European ensemble runs, but that's looking, you know, you're looking at well over 10 days out here. Nothing worth getting excited about just yet, just something we'll keep our eyes on. Now we're looking at the European. You can see Washington, Oregon, California. There's the Hawaiian Islands, Pacific Ocean is here. This is yesterday afternoon's run versus yesterday morning's run. This is the ensemble mean, the average of all 50 ensemble members here, and you can see that monsoon moisture moving up across there as that ridge kicks off to the east. And then as we go on in through later next week, and you can really see that ridge start to build. But you'll notice this, between the runs here, this very big heat dome here, kind of relaxed a little bit. The 600 contour is just across southern Arizona there. So maybe some signs that this heat dome won't be too dramatically extreme, because some of what's been showing up here over the last few days would be record 500 millibar heights, which would equal some record-breaking temperatures there for a few days across the region. So hopefully we can, kind of work that on its way down here over the next model runs. Now, as we look here, you can see, again, you're looking, 12, 15 days out at this point. You can see that troughing start to come for the West Coast on the European itself also, but just purely fantasy for now. Day one thunderstorm outlook does include Southern California, even up towards Las Vegas here. There's a chance for some gusty winds, some outflow winds, blowing dust, haboob out there across some of Arizona. Day two, something similar there. Now, looking at the European, it didn't pick up the lightning too well out here across the coastal areas and up across Baja further out west. But it does show that lightning potential today and again tomorrow and then again on Monday. You guys get the drill here. We're going to be doing this here for the next few days at least. And we go out into Tuesday, kind of a little bit of a repeat there as well. Some thunderstorm activity even possible for Las Vegas. Some of the desert areas, and any one of these strong storms out here could cause some flooding concerns, some crazy weather out there. Maybe incoming with this monsoon surge. 6 to 10 day. This goes out through August 7th here. You can see above average temperatures, 8 to 14 day as well, and we're going to be dealing with that ridge for a portion of this outlook period right there. And you can see much of the west above average, and look at Texas continues to bake. Some cooler than normal conditions across some northern states off to the northeast though. Now this is a 6 to 10 day, kind of showing that suppression of the monsoon. After we get that monsoon surge through here, we're going to really cut off some of the amounts. 8 to 14 day as well. Take that with a grain of salt as always with the forecast of this range. 24-hour running total here. So this is the GFS. Let's update this because this model is running as I speak and do this briefing. Put it into motion. You can see some of the higher terrain of California even trying to reach out towards the coastal regions here as we go through Monday afternoon, for example. You can't rule out a thunderstorm across Vegas, again, across some of the desert areas here. And look at Arizona getting some nice precipitation amounts, potentially down towards Phoenix and Tucson. Some of the lower elevations could get in on this action as well. And then as we go on in through later this next week, though, you can clearly see the suppression happen here across much of the area as the ridge builds, and we kind of cut off that precipitation and almost keep it south of Arizona there for a time as well across some of the higher terrain of Mexico. And this is looking at Big Bear City, California. Most of the ensembles in agreement with some measurable precipitation getting on in here with this surge of moisture into the area. Even that chance into the Los Angeles metro. Do you believe? Cross your fingers there, folks. It's not showing up much. It did downtrend a little bit from what we were looking at yesterday, but still, some of the ensemble runs are showing that. San Diego, look at this. I mean, it keeps showing this here on the GFS. The ensemble runs showing some measurable precip coming in here as we go through July, 30, 31 time frame coming up here. So, yeah, not bad. San Francisco, not much of a signal up there. As you can kind of see, it's constrained across some of Southern California, maybe getting up as far north as some of the Sierra Nevada and then off into Nevada. This is Las Vegas here. Keeps showing that precipitation as well. It's kind of downtrended a little bit in some of the amounts that was showing, but it doesn't take much to cause some flooding concerns. And sometimes the models don't pick up on these individual extreme events here that well this far out. So we do have the potential there for Las Vegas. San Francisco here, look at the little bit of a bump here as we go towards the next weekend, but still nothing crazy for San Francisco. You can see some model disagreement here, but don't expect anything too bad. Nice seasonable temperatures there for the most part. Pretty typical early and midsummer stuff. Sacramento here, look at this nice cool down coming Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. These are relatively cool temperatures there. Get your jackets out, Sacramento, before the next warm-up comes next week. And as that ridge tries to build, again, we don't know quite the extent of the ridge, but it does look like it's going to get pretty warm here across a lot of the area. And then maybe that fantasy trough starts to move down into the region there. Las Vegas, something similar. You can clearly see the monsoon moisture here across the region, cooling the temperatures down, then bouncing back as that ridge develops, and then maybe the fantasy trough swings by. Burbank, California here as well. Nice seasonable temperatures coming up here, bounce up and then bounce down here with the fantasy forecast, often the extended. Here's how we're doing so far in July. You can see the West Coast really above average here as a whole. The lower 48, 1.25 degrees above average. cooler across the plains. This is the entire year here, 0.35 above average if you average out the entire lower 48 here. But you can see, again, the big yin and yang continues to exist. We're really going to put a dent in this coming up here if we do build this ridge to record levels here, though, across the Southwest. We're going to erase some of these below average temperatures if we do it for a prolonged period also. This is the fire map here, just kind of a reminder, windy and dry here across Arizona. But across the lower elevations of California, though, things are starting to dry out, and it doesn't take much to start some fires there across the lower elevations. The higher elevations are doing better. Still got, the streams running fast and they're flowing furiously. The water is cold, and you still got some snowpack across some of the higher Sierra Nevada as well. And this is the drought monitor I'd like to look at. This was from last fall to current, and look at the slate being wiped clean for a lot of the mountainous west here, Nevada, California, just a complete reset. Just beautiful stuff there. You gotta love it. So yeah, the last winter and spring was indeed a blessing here. But yeah, you can even see a little bit of the snowpack there still across the Sierra Nevada on the GOES 18 satellite imagery. Lake Tulare is still out there as well, and that might last for another year or possibly two, and depending on what this fall, winter, and next spring brings here for across the state of California, that could still go on into the future there as well. So anyway, I hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. Keep leaving those comments. To all my channel members, I want to personally thank you guys. You guys make this channel possible. You allow me to put more time into it. The more of you guys become members, the more time I can put into it. And yeah, so great stuff here. I mean, the channel's doing good, and hopefully this continues on as things get active. We'll go into the fall and winter months. We'll continue to do these daily briefings. And yeah, so I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you then.